The USA isn't just a melting pot of people, it is also home to myriad wild species spread across all 50 states. Here are 15 of the United States' most fascinating animals. Number 1. Sea otter. Is this the world's cutest animal? It's certainly a contender, especially when mothers float on their backs carrying fuzzy pups in their arms. Sea otters are the smallest marine mammal in North America. They have thick fur, which is handy when you spend your life in cold water. They're also able to use tools breaking open mussels and clams, with stones that they often store in pocket, like folds of skin under their arms. Sadly, this animal is listed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as endangered, although protection efforts are underway. Number 2. Manatee. Manatees, also known as sea cows, are big, docile, aquatic herbivores that live in slow-moving rivers, estuaries, saltwater bays, and any coastal areas that have seagrass and freshwater plants for them to feed on. Not to be confused with dugongs, manatees are found as far afield as West Africa and the Amazon. In the States, they're mainly concentrated in Florida, where a subspecies of the West Indian manatee is commonly sighted. From snout to tail, they can measure more than 3 meters long and weigh up to 1.5 tons. West Indian manatees are currently listed by the IUCN as vulnerable, with their numbers having slowly declined worldwide due to habitat loss. Number 3. Prairie dog. Despite possessing a dog-like bark, prairie dogs are actually a kind of rodent. All 5 prairie dog species, black-tailed, white-tailed, Gunnison's Utah and Mexican, in the US are members of the Squirrelidae squirrel family, and they are all biological relatives of groundhogs, chipmunks, and marmots. These adorable burrowing mammals live in North America's grasslands in tight-knit family groups called coteries. Scientists have determined that their vocabulary is highly advanced. They're able to share detailed descriptions of any incoming human or animal threats. There used to be hundreds of millions of prairie dogs in the US, but their historical range has shrunk to less than 5% of what it once was. Their existence is a miracle in itself, as their brief mating seasons happens only once a year, with females going into estrus for just 1 hour. Number 4. Brown bear. Like a lion stalking across the Serengeti, there's a certain magic to seeing a brown bear, also known as a grizzly, in the wild. But they are complicated creatures. Debate persists as to whether grizzlies, Ursus arctos horribilis, loosely defined as those bears that live inland, are the same species as brown bears, Ursus arctos, or a distinct subspecies. One bear that definitely fits into the latter category is the Kodiak bear, Ursus arctos middendorfi, which lives on the Alaskan archipelago, after which it takes its name. It is thought by some to be bigger even than a polar bear, making it the largest land predator on the planet. Brown bears have powerful jaws and sharp claws, and the largest are able to stand up to 3 meters tall on their hind legs. They should only be seen from a distance, and travelers are recommended not to keep food in their tent or car, as this is one uninvited guest that you don't want to share a sandwich with. Number 5. Alligator. Said to have first appeared around 84 million years ago. American alligators are living dinosaurs, hunted to near extinction in the 1900s. Their numbers have been steadily increasing since they were listed as an endangered species in 1967. Certainly, few animals have such a toothsome smile as an alligator's jaws contain around 70 to 80 teeth at any one time, and these regrow as they wear and fall out. They can get through as many as 3,000 in a lifetime. With male gators measuring up to 4.5 meters, their long, powerful tails help motor them through the water, making these fearsome reptiles effective hunters of fish, snakes, turtles, birds, and land mammals, though they're also known to snack on fruit. Number 6. Mustang. Like the bald eagle, Free-running wild horses have taken on an almost mythic status in the US as a distillation of the classic American ideals of strength, freedom, and independence. However, the last genuinely wild horses here died out 10,000 years ago. Today's American Mustangs are actually descendants of escaped domestic horses brought to the Americas by Spanish explorers in the 1600s, meaning they're technically not wild but feral. More than 85,000 currently roam free across 10 western US states, and their numbers are growing each year. Seeing these muscular animals galloping across America's grand open landscapes is a potent combination. Number 7. Bald eagle. The regal bald eagle has been the national bird and emblem of the United States since 1782, when Congress placed it on the Great Seal. It has since appeared on flags, money, passports, and in government buildings. But long before any of this, they were considered sacred to many Native American cultures. It's easy to see why this magnificent bird has inspired so many, with its distinctive white feathered, not bald, head and bright yellow beak, massive wings, and the ability to dive at 100 mph. Habitat destruction, hunting, and pesticides once decimated its numbers, but modern-day protection measures mean that they're once again flying high. Number 8. Leatherback turtle. Another survivor from the age of the dinosaur, leatherbacks have lived on Earth for 100 million years. They're the largest turtles in the world and the only ones without a hard shell. Instead, they have a tough, flexible, leathery skin. These giant reptiles grow to nearly 2 meters long, using their 4 broad flippers to propel themselves through the water and down to depths of up to 1,200 m. Leatherbacks are known to migrate huge distances, as much as 16,000 km per year, between nesting and feeding grounds. They are currently listed by the IUCN as vulnerable, with numbers declining due to hunting, egg theft, accidental bycatch in fishing nets, and the loss of nesting beaches. Number 9. American bison. What a sight it must have been to see bison filling America's Great Plains. This land was once home to as many as 100 million, but as the pioneers swept west in the 1800s, they were driven to near extinction by white hunters. Today, thanks to a century of conservation efforts, the mighty bison, also known as buffalo, is roaming once more across U.S. national parks and on Native American reservations. The American bison even recently joined the bald eagle as an official U.S. national symbol. With its immense bulk and power, pointed horns, and the ability to run at speeds of up to 35 mph, this is another animal to respect from a distance. Number 10. Big horn sheep. There can't have been much inspiration in the air on the day that bighorn sheep were named. Native to North America, the giant curled horns of males, or rams, weigh up to around 14 kg, as much as all their other bones combined. Although they're not as nifty on their feet as mountain goats, these agile creatures can climb up steep, rocky terrain to keep away from predators. Bighorns are also one of 2 wild sheep species with large horns in North America, alongside Dall sheep. Number 11. Coyote. In his animated battles with Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote survived self-inflicted dynamite blasts and falling boulders. The real-life coyote is also an impressive survivor. One of the most persecuted animals in the US, they have historically been treated as a threat to livestock, so were poisoned and shot in their millions. They continue to be freely hunted, but have somehow survived and spread out across mainland USA, and even into cities. A striking canid, smaller than a wolf, it's a significant animal in many Native American cultures, representing qualities such as stealth and craftiness. Like wolves, their howls provide an eerie, evocative soundtrack to the night. Number 12. Moose. Despite being associated more with Canada than the US, moose can be found across the northern regions of the states, from Maine to Washington and up into Alaska. Moose are the largest living member of the deer family, though they're almost horse-like in size and appearance. Despite their bulk and heft, they're able to run at 35 mph, and they're fine swimmers, capable of holding their breath underwater. The male's mighty antlers are used to impress females and fight off rivals. They then shed their clunky headgear at the end of the year, as it's not so useful during winter. Number 13. Black bear. The American black bear, Ursus americanus, is North America's smallest bear. But that doesn't mean you'd want a wrestling match with one anytime soon. Adult males measure nearly 2 meters tall when standing upright and weigh up to 300 kg. Widely found across the US and Canada's forested areas, black bears have strong, curved claws that make them speedy tree climbers. They're also excellent swimmers, with their big paws working as effective paddles. Number 14. Pronghorn antelope. Just as the prairie dog isn't a dog, the pronghorn antelope isn't an antelope. Nor is it a wild goat, which is what the Lewis and Clark expedition originally thought they'd discovered back in the early 1800s. Native to North America, these hoofed animals are the fastest land mammal on the continent, able to hit top speeds of around 60 mph. To put this in perspective, this makes them the second fastest animal in the world, behind only the African cheetah, although pronghorns are able to sustain their runs for far longer. Their pace, binocular-like eyesight, and ability to take giant leaps have contributed to their survival on America's grasslands. Number 15. Orca. Despite being known as killer whales, orca are in fact the largest member of the dolphin family, a subsection of cetacean known as Odontoceti, or toothed whales. These distinctive black and white giants, who can weigh up to 6 tons, are one of the world's most powerful and skillful predators. Known to hunt fish, seals, sea lions, penguins, sea turtles, sharks, and even whales. They often work in collaborative pods using echolocation to communicate, herding fish together and feasting on the resulting buffet, which explains why they're sometimes called the wolves of the sea. Which of these incredible animals was your favorite? Let us know in the comments.